Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Centurion Mk. It's a tier 9 British medium tank. It's located on the northeast spawn of Arctic region and it's under the command of CIENOBUCH. Yes, we saw him before. He was introduced to us in the M53, M55, and this time round he's in the Centurion, which is the upgraded version of the same tank that basically revolutionised the tank business, because it was the first of the main battle tanks. It's got if he's lucky, he's got the 105mm gun. It's the top gun. Yes, he has. He's got access to HESH rounds as well. They are capable of doing 480 alpha, 210mm of pen. Standard rounds are APCR with 390 alpha and 268mm of pen. Okay, now this tank is really good at hull down engagements. 10 degrees gun depression. It's got the L7A1 gun. Yes, this is the famous gun that, again, basically revolutionised tank guns. Because at last, the standardised gun that was incredibly accurate. And a lot of foreign nations actually picked their own version of the L7A1 and fitted it in their own tanks because it was so efficient. Okay, we've got a VK100-01P there, just hiding behind that rock, and they're very difficult to pen, but we can penetrate the tortoise if we go for the cupola. Unfortunately, that one didn't pen. Now, if he can get the cupola on this one, yes he does. 307, which is a low roll. Remember, 390 alpha. Lower plates. No, didn't get it. He tried, but he didn't get it. In fact, he's being harassed here. You may have noticed at the start of this game, which was very competitive, he actually fired a round at one of his own teammates, and that may disqualify him from getting a high caliber. He definitely got a pen there on the tortoise cupola. Yes, that E4 is getting him a bit of trouble, I should say. Looking for the outline, can't find it, but can see the outline of the TNH and hit him in the tracks. Now the Concept 1B's pushed up ahead, and now we can see that tortoise again. And a nice pen on him for 405, which is a high roll. Now I think he's just holding this position at the moment because it's a very good position. Can't get those tanks. There's a couple of tanks down by the waterline as well, a Badger and I think an Object 257. That was a blind fire at the tortoise, probably not going to pen. Oh, now that's interesting. And he caught the CS-53 in the side as he was leaving the area. Oh, he's got the cupola again. And he gets him again for 350 this time. Low roll. He got clobbered by the tortoise though. And he got lost 457, which is a high roll to the 120mm gun. Okay, can he get the cupola again? Yes! No! It didn't go in! And he bounced the round that came from the VK. He did it again. Oh, the tortoise hit him again. Yeah, where's these shells going in? You can't see where they're going in. And this time round he did finish off the VK, and the VK tried to get him. So did the tortoise, but they both bounced off him. Okay, still trying to get that tortoise. That was a blind fire. Couldn't get it. Couldn't see him. Changing position now. Can he get shots on these guys? Well, not on the Badger. Might be able to get shots on the Kirovets, who's way over there. He hasn't had any damage whatsoever so far, but that's about to change. Oh, that one went skimming right over the top of his turret. Didn't make contact though. Well, the Badger is down to his last few hit points. Oh, and he did get a hit on the viewports right at the top, and he goes down to a shot from our platoon mate in the Concept 1B. That was a dynamic platoon, the Concept 1B. It's not somebody he knows, but somebody he's just joined for the battle. Okay, this is dangerous. You could get hit by the tortoise, but the tortoise appears to be busy. So he's changing position. Now, unfortunately, we did lose our platoon mate in the Concept 1B. He went down to an FV215B183. That's the heavy tank. And we can't see where he is. In fact, our cap area is actually in danger at the moment. Now, can he take out this 257? Possibly. He might need to bully him. Beautiful shot, right into the lower plates. No trouble with that one. And now, can he take out the other problem tanks, the Kirovets? No, he's decided he's going to return to the cap area. There's plenty of sweet pickings to be had, because he can take out the E5, the Udas, and possibly a Barask as well. And he can snipe at them from the pass. Now, he's gone back to the same spot he was in before. Mainly because it's defensive. Fires one in at the tortoise. There's the Kirovets. Now we might get hit by the tortoise again. Did touch him, but didn't penetrate. Say, so accurate, this gun. In the hands of somebody who knows what they're doing, it could really be effective. Oh, the tortoise hit us in the viewport. Yeah, you can see the impact actually on the cupola. Okay, so he's back in operation without using his repair kit, but they are ready, available if he needs to. Now, more of our teammates have actually gone back to try and help with the cap. So we don't need to go back after those guys. So at this moment, it's actually just CIENOBUCH who's actually dealing with the Kirovets and the tortoise, because the Skoda doesn't appear to be actually doing anything. He's to our left. Now that we know that tortoise is looking, but I don't think he can see us. It's the Kirovets that's doing the spotting. He's much closer. Just waiting for this guy to make the mistake of pushing forward so we can get one round into the top of his turret. With 3 down on the enemy. He's made a big mistake now because he came forward, and that gives us his lower plate. Now, CIENOBUCH can take him to pieces. Oh! Oh, that one went in through the roof. He penetrated the roof of the Kirovets there. Now the Skoda is in trouble because he's a one-shot. We're coming round to help. Use the vehicles for cover. And he takes out the Kirovets with one to the roof. And now we've got the Barask, who's very thin armor, but he's relying on his 2-shot capability. Hello! And that's him out of the game. So that's 4 kills now for CIENOBUCH. And now we've got to deal with the Tiger 2. He managed to sneak round behind us. And we won into the back of his head, and he's out the game. And in fact, we got an E4. Thank you. Okay, there's the tortoise. Nice. From this range, it's much easier to get through. But he only got 33 hit points off that shot. Now he's loading the Hesh. High explosive, squash head. Very effective. 495 from that shot alone. It's expensive rounds, but they do have a brilliant effect upon the enemy tank. And only 28 from that one. Not what I thought he would get. Okay, do it this time. Only 26 again. Yes, that's better. 429, nice shot. Go for it. Yes, kill shot. And that's the end of the tortoise, and now there are only 1 tank down on the enemy. The enemy's still pressuring from the north, but there's nobody in that direction. I think he's actually cleared the enemy there. Now he thinks there's another tortoise over in that direction. Well, there is another tortoise in the game. We don't know where he is. The enemy Udas has just been wiped out. I was about to say that, oh, now there's that FB215B. He managed to get a shell through his frontal armor, but he only got 39 hit points with the Hish. Okay, now the guy's on fire. And he gets another one in, and that one, 474, but he set light to the engine, because the engine's up front, and he perforated it. And there's the kill shot. That's the Top Gun. He's now got 7,200 hit points of damage. As far as we know, he might actually have more. There were a few blind shots, but basically he's turned this game around, because now there's only 2 enemies left. We were behind, now we're ahead by 3 tanks. And oh, they just lost the other tortoise. The other tortoise was up the other end of the map, so he wasn't around this area, and all they've got left is an A and B team. We know he's up the north end, or that's where he was last seen. And I think CIENOBUCH wants that last kill if he can get it. He won't be able to get a Radley's. There's only 1 tank left, but at least he will have the satisfaction of getting the last kill in the game. Long range. Oh, it dipped. It wasn't fully dialed in, but this shot I think will more than likely be fully dialed in. Oh! Oh! Unfortunately, he misses out on the kill because it's a ram kill by the Leopard. Well, that was a game of dogged determination. Yes, he really kept going at the enemy, even though they were getting shots on him and actually getting hits that were actually penetrating him. He kept going at them and he punished them in the end. And yes, ended up with an ace tanker. Well done, CIENOBUCH, in that game. Not the first ace tanker he's had in this tank, but it's still a very good result indeed. You also got a shell proof for getting more damage than, blocking more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, and a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 9 in total out of that game. And he got a Top Gun as well for getting at least 6 kills. His win rate was 16,539. And that's Super Unicum and a lot more. In fact, it's a very, very good game for the Centurion 7-1. It shows how dominating this tank can be if it's played well. Sadly, though, I think he missed out on a medal, and we'll find that out any second now, because we're going to look and see how many hit points did he get. Did he get enough for the high caliber? Yes, he did. Unfortunately, that shot he made, that petulant shot right at the start of the game, where he was actually telling somebody off for ramming into him, cost him a medal. Yes, if he hadn't fired at that guy and hit him right at the start of the game, he would have had a high caliber as well. But sadly, he didn't get it, and it went to the second highest. Oh no, it didn't even go to the second highest. They didn't award a high caliber in this game at all. So yes, he missed out there. 7,209 hit points of damage went to CIENOBUCH. The second highest damage was the T110E5 on his own team with 4,704. And the third highest damage went to the Leopard Prototype A, who got 3,320 in the honor of the last kill by ramming the enemy AMBT to death in third place. When it came to kills, CIENOBUCH at the highest on that one, 6 kills to him. Top Gun, 3 kills went to the Leopard Prototype, his platoon mate, the Concept 1B, and also the AMBT on the enemy team. And in third place, we can say the Skoda T56. Well, he did get 2 kills in that game, and he survived as well, surprisingly. And when it came to base XP, yep, only 2 tanks in it. We can see that CIENOBUCH managed 1,742 base experience points, and that shows how effective he was. That was a very good game for the Centurion 7-1. And 1,049 went to the Skoda T56, and in third place, 997 went to the Leopard Prototype. So he was very close to, and so did the Skoda, by the way, as well, very close to getting 1,000 hit points, but only 2 guys actually managed it, and boy did CIENOBUCH get it. Yes, he really did. Let's have a look at the detail. 44 shots fired, 30 direct hits, and 19 penetrations. You get 72 rounds in the Centurion 7-1, so you still have plenty of more shells available. 6 splashes on the enemy as well. 7,209 hit points, of which 2,689 were at more than 300 meters. So most of the damage was actually done at close range. He received 9 hits from the enemy, 2 penetrated, 7 non-penetrations, and he also blocked damage of 2,240 hit points in total. Spotted 3 enemy vehicles, damaged 10 of the enemy, killed 6, did 460 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he earned 91,472 credits from the game, 40,000 for completing a mission, 131,472 credits altogether. But yes, he did fire a lot of premium ammo, a lot of Hesh in that game, and as a consequence, it really cost him, because you can see 104,800 for ammo alone, and he ended up with a loss of 4,617 credits. But he did get the battle, and he put in a great performance in the Centurion. 2,613 XP, times 2 for the first victory, 1,306 from personal reserves, took away 6,532 experience points altogether. He calls this a nice game, I think. Yes, it's a very nice game. I think everybody would be happy if they had a game like that. But I would say to CIENOBUCH, don't shoot your own teammates. You would have had another medal, for sure. Absolutely. But unfortunately, you disqualified yourself at the start of the battle by shooting one of your own teammates. So don't do that in future, please. But here's the armor profile for the Centurion 7.1. And we can see that the upper plate is very well angled, actually, the front of this vehicle. Very well angled, 120.7 millimeters impacted armor, but the actual effective armor comes up to about 188, which makes, of course, this upper plate very difficult to penetrate. And, of course, when this tank is hulled down and looking at you, that effective armor goes up dramatically at the front. The lower plate's a little easier to penetrate. It's only 76.2 millimeters, coming out at about 125 when you're looking directly towards it. And of course, it gets a little easier to penetrate if you hold down, if you show your lower plate rather. But of course, most of the time, you're actually going to be taking this tank on from a hold down position. And then, of course, you can see that it's actually quite effective at taking you out, because the armor is very, very strong from this position. We can see what the tortoise was actually aiming at was this period here, this part here on the roof, because of course that's the weak spot on the Centurion 7.1. It's only 50.8 millimeters, or 88 there. You can see 50.8 at the top, and a little lower down it's only 88.9 millimeters thick. You wouldn't want to go for the front of the vehicle here. 255 millimeters effective goes up to what 300 at some points, so you're not going to get through that, and you're certainly not going to be able to penetrate through the mantlet as well. So it's much easier to actually go for this cupola, which is basically the weak spot, or if you can, to get through the sides of the vehicle. But of course, he wasn't giving the side to that tortoise. We can see the sides of the vehicle are only 50.8 millimeters effective, coming up about 52 there. You can see if you're side on directly, and on the side of the turret we can see it goes down to 90 millimeters, coming up at 95 effective. But you can see the top of the tank is actually fairly weak. It's only 28.6 millimeters impacted armor, effective about 39. So yes, Arty can penetrate the top of a Centurion 7.1, but you've got to land the shell directly on top of it, or at the front even for that matter. It's only 28.6 there at the front of the vehicle there. So you could penetrate through that area just underneath or where the gun is shown. Rear of the vehicle is also fairly weak, 31.8 and showing 32 millimeters effective. Let's have a look at the live version, and you can see straight away that the front plate and the can be penetrated with a 105, because this is for penetration values for the 105mm gun. The 105 can actually go through the frontal armor of a Centurion 7.1, but when you angle it and you're in a hold down position, just look at that. The armor actually then becomes quite effective and almost blocks the shell that's actually coming. That's anything that's around about the 105mm round is going to have difficulty. And of course, when he was actually going up and down on that rise, you can see that they weren't getting much to play with. They couldn't really get through the upper plate, and so all the tortoise could aim for was the cupola. That's all that was available. And of course, you can see if you angle it, even angling the front of the armor, you'd have to angle quite heavily in order to get non-penetrating shot off the front plate. And doing so, you'd actually show your side armor to the enemy, and of course, the enemy would easily get a pen through that. So you don't want to show your side armor. If you can effectively do it that way. Be hull down, slightly angled. That will prevent the enemy getting through your sides and will make the upper plate very, very effective still, and you can still get shots, or should still be able to get shots on the enemy, because you can see there I'm getting it to the maximum depression there, and yes, he can easily look at you, and his upper plate is actually quite nicely strong. Anyway, that's the armor profile for the Centurion 7.1. Let's have a quick look at the modules. Okay, we've got the max up, and now we can see the drivers actually on this one is on the left-hand side of the vehicle. After all, it is a British tank, and we drive on this side of the road, on the right-hand side of the road, so that's why we have a driver on the left-hand side. In this one, we got the gunner on the left-hand side, and the tank command TC is behind him, kicking him in the back, telling him where to aim. And we've got the loader on the right-hand side. This is the conventional layout for most main battle tanks today, including a lot of the German tanks, although the German tanks now and all the other tanks will actually have the driver central rather than actually on the right-hand side. The reason the driver's on the left-hand side, rather, is that there's a big ammo storage right in the front of the tank. So if you can get through that upper plate, then you might get a bang, but more than likely you can actually get a penetration this side into it. The ammo store on the underneath the turret is deep down inside the hull. You're not likely to get that. If you're going to get an ammo rack at all, it's going to have to be sideways through the side of the vehicle, because you're not really likely to get it through the front of the vehicle unless he shows you that lower plate, in which case, yes, those two ammo racks do become a viable target. The radio's sitting in the bustle, so there's no ammo in the turret that you can actually hit. And at the back, we've got the engine surrounded by two fuel tanks, but we've also got a tank at the very rear as well, much like the German Panthers and Tiger IIs had a big fuel tank right at the very rear of the vehicle, and there's the transmission right at the rear as well. So that's where the modules are on the Centurion 7.1. Yeah, great game and very well played. He kept going at it, kept shooting, even when that tortoise was getting penetrating shots on his roof from a long way away. And it worked in the end, so very well done. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.